Hello and welcome to Lengold English, Golden Stories, Fluent Future. Our mission is simple: to improve your English and help you live a better life. We take complex topics and make them easy to understand, no matter your English level. Today, you're not just learning English, you're discovering one of the most incredible stories in business history. From two poor brothers working in their mother's laundry to creating the world's biggest sports empires, you will learn how to turn dreams into reality, how to overcome family conflicts, and how success can sometimes destroy the people we love most. This is your chance to improve your English through powerful storytelling. How to speak and understand English better through the dramatic tale of ambition, rivalry, and the birth of two global giants. But before we start this incredible journey, if you want more stories like this that will transform your English and inspire your life, consider subscribing to our channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. This is not just a story, it's a business transformation that changed the world forever. And your English will get better with every word.
Part 1. Humble Beginnings. The Birth of a Dream. In the early 1900s, in a small German town called Herzogenaurach, two brothers were born into poverty. Their father worked long hours in a shoe factory, earning barely enough money to feed the family. Their mother ran a small laundry business from their home, washing clothes for the neighbors to make extra income. Adolf Dassler, called Adi by everyone, was the younger brother. He was quiet, thoughtful, and loved working with his hands. He spent hours watching his father repair shoes and learned every detail about making footwear. After World War I ended, young Adi had a revolutionary idea that seemed crazy to everyone around him. "I want to make shoes for athletes," he told his family. "Not regular shoes, special shoes that help people run faster and jump higher." His family thought he was dreaming. Who would buy special shoes just for sports? But Adi believed in his vision. He transformed his mother's laundry room into a workshop. He used old leather from military boots, canvas from tents, and metal pieces from destroyed tanks. Everything was recycled. Everything was precious. For months, Adi worked alone, creating prototype after prototype. His hands were always dirty, his back always sore, but his mind was full of possibilities. He studied how athletes moved, how their feet touched the ground, and how different surfaces affected their performance. The breakthrough came when he created his first pair of running shoes with metal spikes. Local athletes tried them and were amazed. They ran faster than ever before. Word spread quickly through the small town, then to nearby cities. Part 2. The Perfect Partnership, When Opposites Attract. In 1923, Rudolf Dassler, Adi's older brother, made a decision that would change everything. Rudolf was completely different from his quiet brother. He was charming, confident, and could sell ice to people living in the North Pole. When he saw what Adi was creating, he immediately understood the business potential. "Brother," Rudolf said, "you make the shoes, I'll sell them to the world." Together, they were unstoppable. Adi's technical genius, combined with Rudolf's sales skills, created magic. In 1924, they officially founded Gehuder Dassler Shoe Factory, the Dassler Brothers Shoe Factory. The business grew rapidly. Adi continued innovating, creating shoes with removable spikes, better grip, and improved comfort. Rudolf traveled across Germany, convincing athletes and sports clubs to try their products. He had a special talent for understanding what people wanted before they knew it themselves. Their biggest breakthrough came in 1936 during the Berlin Olympics. This was Hitler's Germany, a time of terrible political tension. But Adi saw only one thing: an opportunity to prove that great shoes could help great athletes achieve greatness. Jesse Owens, the legendary American sprinter, was the most famous athlete at the Games. Adi approached him personally and convinced him to wear Dassler shoes. The result was historic. Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals, and millions of people around the world saw him wearing German-made Dassler shoes. Overnight, their small family business became internationally famous. Orders came from every continent. The two brothers were no longer poor young men from a small town. They were entrepreneurs building an empire. But success brought new problems. As the business grew, so did the pressure. Rudolf became more aggressive in his sales tactics. Adi became more perfectionist with his designs. Different personalities that once complemented each other started creating friction. Part 3. The Breaking Point. When Family Becomes Enemy. The beginning of the end started with a single sentence during World War II. The Dassler family was hiding in their basement during an Allied bombing raid. When Rudolf and his family arrived at the shelter, Adi muttered under his breath, "The bastards are back." Did he mean the enemy planes? Or was he talking about Rudolf's family? Rudolf believed his brother was insulting him. From that moment, trust between the brothers began to die. During the war, their factory was forced to produce military boots instead of sports shoes. The brothers had different opinions about politics, about the war, about everything. They stopped talking to each other, communicating only through employees. After Germany lost the war, American soldiers occupied their town. Rudolf was arrested twice by American forces, accused of being too involved with the Nazi Party. He spent months in prison, and when he was released, he was convinced that someone had given information about him to the Americans. Who could it be? Rudolph's suspicious mind pointed to only one person, his own brother, Adi. The accusation was never proven, but it didn't matter. Trust, once broken, is almost impossible to repair. Rudolph felt betrayed by the person he trusted most in the world. Adi felt hurt that his brother could believe such terrible things about him. Their employees had to choose sides. Friends became enemies. The entire town was divided. Everyone knew that the Dassler brothers, who had built something beautiful together, were now destroying it with their hatred. Family dinners became war zones. Business meetings became shouting matches. The company that had brought them success was now the battlefield for their personal conflict. By 1947, it was clear that they could no longer work together. The question was not if they would separate, but how they would divide what they had built together.
Part 4. The Split That Created Giants. From Brothers to Rivals. On a cold day in 1948, the impossible happened. The Dassler brothers' shoe factory was officially divided. Not just the business, the entire town of Herzogenaurach was split in two. Adi kept the main factory and most of the workers. He created a new company name by combining Adi and Dassler. Adidas was born. His three stripes logo would soon become one of the most recognized symbols in the world. Rudolph took the administrative building and had to start production from zero. He called his company Puma, choosing the image of a powerful, fast animal to represent his brand. The small German town became known as the Town of Bent Necks because people constantly looked down at each other's feet to see which brand they were wearing. Friendships ended. Families split apart. Even the local bakery had to serve customers from different companies on different days to avoid conflicts. The rivalry was not just business, it was personal, emotional, and complete. When Adi signed a famous athlete, Puma immediately tried to steal them with a better offer. When Puma created a new technology, Adidas worked day and night to create something better. In 1954, Adidas achieved a massive victory. Adi invented removable cleats that could be changed based on field conditions. The German national football team wore these revolutionary shoes and won the World Cup in what became known as the Miracle of Bern. Germany, still recovering from the war, had a new reason to feel proud, and Adidas was part of that pride. But Puma fought back brilliantly. In 1970, during the World Cup in Mexico, they executed one of the most famous marketing moves in sports history.
Pelé, the greatest football player of all time, bent down to tie his Puma shoes right in front of television cameras watched by millions of people worldwide. This single moment was worth millions of dollars in advertising. The competition pushed both companies to constant innovation, better materials, new designs, revolutionary technologies. The rivalry created benefits for athletes and customers everywhere. The brothers never spoke to each other again. When they died, they were buried in the same cemetery in Herzogenaurach, but on opposite sides, separated even in death by their unresolved conflict. However, their legacy lived on. Both companies survived economic crises, ownership changes, and global market transformations. Today, Adidas and Puma are among the most valuable brands in the world, worth billions of dollars and employing hundreds of thousands of people.
The 5 powerful lessons from the Dassler brothers. Now that you know the complete story, let me share the 5 most important lessons that can transform your approach to business and life. Lesson 1. Complementary skills are the key to success. Adi and Rudolph had completely opposite personalities and abilities, but they completed each other perfectly. Adi was the innovation genius, obsessed with quality and performance. Rudolph was the sales and marketing master, with strategic vision for business. Together, they built an empire. This story shows that strong partnerships don't require people to be the same. They need skills that complement each other. Every great empire starts with people who refuse to accept limitations and find others whose strengths cover their weaknesses. Lesson 2. Constant innovation beats stagnation. From the beginning, Adi dedicated himself to innovation, creating shoes with metal spikes and later with removable cleats. The intense rivalry between the brothers forced both companies to always stay ahead, seeking new technologies, materials, and designs. This proves that continuous innovation is fundamental to staying relevant in the market, especially in competitive sectors. What impossible dream are you afraid to pursue through innovation? Lesson 3. Marketing and storytelling are powerful weapons. Adidas's success with Germany's 1954 World Cup victory and Puma's marketing masterstroke with Pelé in 1970 demonstrate the power of creating a narrative around your brand. Having a good product isn't enough. You need a story that connects the brand with the public. These historic moments transformed the companies from simple shoe manufacturers into symbols of victory, achievement, and attitude. Lesson 4. The price of ego and poor communication. This story is a warning about how lack of communication and ego can destroy even the most successful partnerships. The distrust and resentment between Adi and Rudolph fed by misunderstandings and pride, ended up dismantling the company they built together. Success tests relationships more than failure does. In business, maintaining transparency and resolving conflicts maturely is crucial for long-term sustainability. Lesson 5. Competition can generate growth. Although the rivalry was personal and painful, it was also the main growth engine for both brands. The desire to overcome their rival led to innovations and aggressive marketing strategies that catapulted Adidas and Puma to the top of the global market. This rivalry shows that competition can be a powerful catalyst for excellence and achievement. Sometimes our greatest accomplishments come not from working together, but from proving ourselves against our toughest rivals.
If you watched this entire video, I want you to know something very important about the story you just heard and about your own life. You are not your circumstances. You are your choices. Adi and Rudolf Dassler started with nothing. No money, no connections, no special advantages. But they had vision, they had determination, and they refused to accept that their current situation was their permanent destiny. Yes, their personal relationship was destroyed by pride and misunderstanding. Yes, their family was torn apart by success and ego. But look at what they created. Two global empires that continue to inspire athletes and entrepreneurs around the world. The real lesson is not about their conflict. The real lesson is about the power of believing in impossible dreams and working every day to make them reality. From today, I want you to say, I will not let my current situation define my future possibilities. I will create something that never existed before. If you found inspiration in this story, subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment below with your own impossible dream, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Transform your English, transform your mindset, transform your life. Now we have the honest question for you. Do you think the Dassler brothers would be more successful if they never separated? Or did their rivalry actually make both brands stronger? Defend your answer in the comments. I'll heart every comment. Remember the Dassler brothers every time you see someone wearing Adidas or Puma. You are not your past limitations, you are your future creations.